Why hasn't she been on a date in 3 years? What's up with that? Yeah, you definitely you don't want to stop dating when you get married or in a long-term relationship. It's important. I mean, it's difficult again with 5 kids, and I'm sure they both probably work, but 3 years without a date could lead to potential problems. Joseph, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Shishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
A warning to all men who are out here trying to navigate the dating market and avoid feminist-minded women. Guys, we talk about a lot of the same stuff here on the Coffee Pod. But once in a while, there'll be a topic that I'll notice and I'll see it growing in popularity and I'll finally decide to talk about it. This is one of those topics. There's a lot of confusion right now when it comes to dating and relationships. There's a lot. I think one of those things I should have seen coming that I didn't expect is the rise of regretful parents, specifically the rise of moms who regret being mothers and miss their independent lifestyle. This is a trend that I'm seeing pick up. Imagine you decide to date some chick, things go well, and you decide to take that risk of marriage. You decide to take the risk and have a family and kids. And then after all that, she doesn't only regret the marriage and realizes it's not what she thinks it was and may potentially want a divorce, but she also regrets being a mother. We're seeing a lot of that now. And I think it's no surprise that as people have become more independent and women have been given platforms to voice out their honest thoughts, it's no surprise that you see more women who regret motherhood. And again, this is another thing I just want to caution you to avoid at all cost is entertaining a long potential. I mean, if you don't want a family, it doesn't matter, right? If you don't want kids, it doesn't matter. But entertaining a woman who shows hesitancy when it comes to having children, and you actually saying, oh, well, let's just try it. And you're like convincing this woman to have kids, or she's just skeptical about it overall, should be avoided after you see this. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
I have received so many messages from moms who want to share their stories because they think it's important that young women out there understand the whole truth of motherhood. And this is one of the messages that I've received, and it's one of my favorite messages. It gives a really accurate portrayal of absolutely loving your children, but also facing the fact that motherhood is extremely challenging. She writes, "Hello, I love what you're doing on here. I'm a mother. I have 5 children, and I was not prepared for what life would be like with kids. Nothing in my life is my own. No one told me that would happen. By nothing, I mean not my time, my body, my bedroom, my bathroom time, nothing. I am touched, called for, cried to, and occupied 24/7. When the kids aren't home, I am receiving calls about them or making appointments for them. I'm worrying about them to a scary extent. Their individual needs are so specific, and I never want to mess it up because I'd be ruining their lives."
All right. So first off, let's just acknowledge the fact that 5 kids is a lot. That's a lot of kids. But guys, keep in mind that this is part 4. And this isn't the only situation where women regret being mothers. There are women in the comment section who've had 1 child or 2 children. There are also women in the comment section who are like pro child-free women. This is a thing right now. Women who aim to live a child-free life, which of course is okay. But again, these women think that there are men out here who want to entertain relationships with them that could potentially lead to marriage and don't want to pass their lineage on to the next generation. That's just not the case when it comes to how men think when they're pursuing women out here. And so the woman in the video is talking about how she's losing her independence and sense of identity. I guess just keep listening.
"My thoughts belong to them. I have no privacy and no days off, despite having a loving and supportive partner and family who lives close by. No one told me motherhood would be an endless, repeating cycle of grief over milestones, events that did or did not happen, time you do not have, identity loss, false expectations, and how quickly everything goes by. We never have babysitting, so my partner and I never get out alone. We do the best we can with the time we have at home, but I haven't been on a date in 3 years.
Why hasn't she been on a date in 3 years? What's up with that? Yeah, you definitely want to. You don't want to stop dating when you get married or in a long-term relationship. It's important. I mean, it's difficult again with 5 kids, and I'm sure they both probably work, but 3 years without a date could lead to potential problems. Let's keep listening.
I miss dressing up, feeling sexy, and being my carefree self. Motherhood is a thief. I love my children fiercely and unconditionally, yet motherhood has single handedly stolen my life from me, every piece and every part. And this is the guilt that eats away at me when these thoughts pass through. I shove them away, but it is the truth of motherhood. Motherhood is a tragedy for each mother who's loved so much and so deeply she's sacrificed herself. And I feel badly admitting this, especially since I chose to become a mother. How can I claim to be a good mother when I admit it has taken everything from me? If you're a good parent, an attentive parent, an intentional parent, giving your kids your best and your all, it's exhausting, all consuming, and you still don't feel good enough. If I had advice to anyone wanting to be a mother, it would be this. Imagine your life now, and one by one, take away your friends, your nights out, your hobbies, your self love, your gym time, your clean house, your career, your body, your dreams, and ambitions. Add in place staying home 24/7, finding a job solely on the premise that it allows you to put motherhood first, messes, people that are entirely dependent on you, are morally and legally required to show up for you even on your worst day, sick days, pressure to stay attractive even though your body just changed beyond recognition, opinions of others, calls from school, sports that steal weekends, love that is so strong it drives you to give up everything else as a reflex. It's love, but it's pain. So much pain.
All right, so we have a wife and a mother who regrets raising 5 kids. That's a lot. I don't think most people would shoot for 5 in general, but it's good for this video because you can see all the things that she potentially has to deal with and give up to give her children the proper care, time, and attention. And yes, that does take away from your independence. It always has. It always has. Now, do I think that she is wrong for regretting motherhood? I just think it is what it is. I just think this is the current situation when you have feminism, which has encouraged women to embrace their independence, and then they go from being very independent, to then getting married to a man, and now your choices just don't affect you. But on top of that, you're adding another kid, or maybe 2 or 3 or 4, like in this case, 5. Due to how independent most women are today, and even some of the women who want traditional relationships, they may want it, but due to how independent they are or have to be, there are a lot of chicks out here who don't understand what it takes to actually be a mother. But Chisha, what do you know? Well, I saw my mother sacrifice a lot. You see, mothers are a wonderful thing, and they do sacrifice a lot for their children. And if you've had a good mother in your life, you see this with your own eyes. My mother is amazing. She's done a lot, and she's given up a lot for her family, time, attention, things that she wanted to do. Instead, focused her attention and time on her children. Why is this important to men? Well, it may not be important to all men, but it is important to the men out here who may potentially want a marriage, a relationship that leads to a marriage. You want to be skeptical, because I bet you the same women who regret being mothers are probably the same women who are going to regret a marriage. You know, the best response I saw to this situation was actually a mom who's on TikTok, and she was talking about being a mother. A commenter asked her and said, "What are the benefits of being a mother?" She wanted to know what are the pros. She's probably heard the cons because again, this is a growing movement. This whole regretful parents thing, which are mostly women, are online very heavily and talking about the cons of being a mother. And she wanted to know from a mom, what are the pros of being a mother? And I thought the mom in this case answered that question really well. She said, listen, being a mother takes so much sacrifice that if you're sitting there wondering, what am I going to get out of this at the end of everything, then it's probably not for you. Drink the coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Then it's probably not for you. And I think that was an amazing response, because the children didn't ask to get brought into this world. You decided to bring them in, and you're sitting there wondering, what do you get out of this? No child should be with a parent who feels regret for having them. Because I believe no matter how much they try to act like, oh, the kid doesn't know and I still love my child, they have an idea. There's probably some neglect happening there to a certain degree. And of course, you as a man, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. Guys, listen, of course, I'm curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. Have you run into a woman like this? Till next time, I'm out. Peace.